Hello everyone, welcome to our first group session. My name is Samantha and I'm going to be your facilitator for this group. And basically what that means is my job is to guide the group and make sure that everything is kind of staying on track and that we're meeting the goals and expectations that we have for the group. Does that make sense for everyone? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. So I've already said my name. We're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. We'll make it a little bit interesting, I guess. Everyone say their name and their favorite ice cream flavor. I can start. Mine is strawberry. And then we can start here and just go around the circle.
My name is Elisa, and my favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream.
Mine too. Other than the strawberry.
My name is Maisha, and
okay.
I have several favorite cookie flavors.
Ice cream, yeah.
Ice cream
it's okay.
flavors.
If you want to give cookie flavor, that works.
I was thinking cookie dough.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
Yeah, and then there's dulce de leche. And
Good.
Good option.
then there's strawberry.
Okay.
And then there's strawberry cheesecake. Really, the
I
list goes
hear
on
you.
and on.
Okay, how about you?
Hey, my name is Corinne.
Corinne.
My favorite ice cream is cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Okay, like Elisa.
Very good.
Cool.
Good stuff.
And how about you?
Mariah.
Mariah.
And mine is the same as Maisha's, cookie dough.
Cookie dough. Cool. Okay. So it's nice to meet all of you. And hopefully throughout this group we'll get to know each other a little bit more. We're going to be sharing a lot of different things in this group, you know, dealing with stress and kind of going off with that. Because we're going to be sharing a lot of different things, it's important that we keep confidentiality priority in this group. And what that basically means is whatever is said in the group stays in the group. You know, we don't necessarily want to share other people's personal information outside of the group, and it's possible that, you know, we say something a little bit more personal in this group, so just make sure that whatever is said here stays here. Does that make sense for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And if at any point in the group sessions you don't understand something, please stop me, let me know, you know, ask me a question, and I will try to answer to the best of my ability. Okay. And just like you might be stopping me to ask me a question, I also might be stopping you. Like I said, my job as a facilitator is to keep things on task. So if at any point I feel like we're kind of veering off, tangenting off, then I might stop you if you're talking and kind of bring things back home. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Before we get into stress and talking about stress, I want to first ask you guys what your expectations are for this group. What do you want out of the group after it's all said and done, you know? Do you want to start?
Just kind of talking about some things that I guess I go through in daily life and kind of get down to the bottom of what exactly is the trigger for the stress and maybe how to resolve it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Maybe some ways to relieve stress.
Sure.
In healthy ways.
Okay. Ways to maybe cope with it and relieve it. Okay. Anyone else agree with what Elisa and Corinne have said, or maybe want to add something?
I agree.
Okay. So relieving stress, ways to cope with it. You too, Maisha?
Same.
Okay. Sounds good. I definitely think that this group will be able to fulfill those expectations. And hopefully, like I said, as long as we stay on task and keep with the subject of the group, which is stress, then we should be okay. Okay. So one last housekeeping thing before we jump right in. Group rules. It's important that we go over group rules just to kind of understand what we expect from the group makeup and how the group runs. So yeah, so that we can more easily stay on task. So I don't really like to dictate what the rules are. This is your guys' group. So why don't we just popcorn and talk about what good rules would be for a group?
Letting everyone talk on their own, like don't interrupt people.
Don't interrupt people. Okay. I think that's a pretty good rule. Does everyone agree?
Mm-hmm.
Don't interrupt people. Okay, we'll make that a rule. Like I said, there are points where I might have to interrupt just as the group facilitator to make sure we're staying on task, but it will make sure that those are few and far between. Anyone else?
I feel like any negative ideas, we should probably keep those at a minimum.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
What do you mean by that? Negative ideas?
Like, if you're not really contributing to the conversation in a positive way, I feel like you probably shouldn't include those because it's not really helping
Okay.
the issue.
Okay. So keeping the positivity of the group. I think that's a very good rule.
Not negating the issues of someone else.
Not negating the issues of
Not
someone else.
as important maybe as your own.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like putting someone down would really counteract the point of this stress relieving group.
That's a very good point. So valuing each and everyone's opinion and maybe each person's problem. We don't understand what someone else is going through, so just making sure that we remember that they are an individual with problems too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. So we have don't interrupt, staying positive, right, with our thoughts, and also valuing each person and their problems. Anything else you guys can think of? No? Okay. We're done with housekeeping. Let's jump right in. Stress. This is why we're all here. So I want to start with an activity. You all have sheets of paper and writing utensils. That's good. We're going to use those now. And I want you guys, in the next minute that I give you, to just write down all the words, adjectives, verbs, whatever you want to use. Maybe someone's name, whatever you want to use. Anything that comes to mind when you think of stress. The word stress and stress as it means to you. So go ahead and take a minute to do so, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Give you a few more seconds. Everyone done? Yeah? Okay. Let's start with you, Mariah. If you don't mind sharing, would you share some words, if you want to even share all of them? And yeah.
Okay. Not really in any particular order.
Okay.
But I put finances, job security, relationships, parents, body image, people, school, dependency, and men.
Wow. Okay. How about you, Corinne?
Like Mariah, no particular order, but I have school, people, friendships/relationships, living a healthier lifestyle, the future, and not having a car.
Okay. So I'm hearing some similarities already. School and the future. Right? People. Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. How about you, Maisha?
Well, I have 4 things down here.
Okay.
But school is number 1. Kid you not, the future is number 2.
Ah, that's crazy.
Life and uncertainty.
Okay. Okay.
So I have homework, deadlines, projects, essay, planning, wedding, creativity, time, family, spiritual life, health, food, money.
A lot of things stress you out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sounds like school is kind of up there for a lot of you. Even all of you, right?
Yes.
What about school stresses you guys out? I heard homework from over here, correct? Okay.
The inability for professors to understand that there is a life that you're living.
Yeah.
That, maybe I don't have time to do this exactly how you want it, but this is like all that you are doing in your life, So, just for people to maybe understand, hey, you have other things going on. Maybe we could take a step back and understand when you come to us, we're not really making up excuses. Things really do happen in life.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing you say is the stress related to the combination of things, school and other things are happening in life, and just having to deal with both of those things at once. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can any of you relate to that maybe, or want to add something else that can expand on why school stresses you out?
It's just overwhelming, It's just a lot.
Yeah.
At once. It's not anything gradual. It's just everything happening at one time.
Everything at
This
once.
is due. That is due. Oh, I have a test that day. Oh, look. I have 3 more.
Okay. So just having a lot to do one time. Kind of piggybacking off of what Mariah was saying, maybe not specifically school, but just having a lot to deal with as far as school and other things in life. Okay. Can you all relate to that too, Corinne, Lisa?
Yeah. Just unrealistic expectations from teachers. Like, especially from people taking like not me this year, but sometimes people are taking like 18 credits and they have work. Just with school and like they give you those credits and like you have to read for these classes, to read like a whole chapter, and then at the same time you have to study for your tests like for 16 chapters. I'm over exaggerating, but it's just a lot that they expect from you, and there's literally not enough time in a day to do that. Like, time is so important.
Okay. Anyone else want to add to that, share?
I think also it's pretty difficult because I don't know. I guess I've never had a just school alone experience, which is why school might be more stressful.
I see.
Because I've always had schoolwork. Like they've always come in like a pair. I don't know why they put that. But work is very stressful. But like, I guess there might be enough time in a day for people that don't work. But I think that's really what adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're at work thinking about how much you need to do, but then you get home from work and you're so tired you don't want to do nothing. So I think that's what really makes it stressful, because it's like, oh, I have so much to do. I don't want to do anything because I'm so tired because I just worked 8 hours. So.
Okay. So I'm hearing from you specifically, Mariah, that it's really the combination of things that brings on the stress for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in particular that it alone stresses you out?
I guess I would say, well, I mean, I guess you could say finances.
Finances alone.
Finances alone, without any help from anything else. It's stressful.
Is that something that anyone else can relate to, can understand. Does anyone want to expand on that? What's stressful about finances? Having them, not having them,
Not
having to deal with them, not having them. Okay. Yeah, that can be very stressful. I can definitely even relate to that myself. Okay. All right. Now we've talked about a little bit about stress and what stresses you guys out, right? And I'm just wondering now, with those stressors that are in your guys' life, how have you coped with it thus far? So if you want to take a minute or two, think about it on your own, or if you already have those thoughts kind of going in your head, just break up into twos. There's an even number, so you two if you want, or you two, however you guys want to break up, and discuss with your partner how you guys have coped with your stress. We'll take a few minutes to do that.
How have I coped with stress? I don't know. I really don't. I would probably say
I basically do anything but.
kind of hard to
Yeah, I know.
But yes, I would say
We're pretty much the same
eating
person.
probably
So it's
because,
actually
and you know, that makes it even harder because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be healthy, but I just want everything that's not healthy for me right now. So that adds on stress as well. I kind of feel like I waste a lot of time also, which is probably not a good way of coping. But
No, like
yeah,
like
I
it
don't
wasn't
think I
like
cope very well,
no, 'cause
honestly.
it was like,
I sleep. I could be doing so many other things. I don't sleep because I'm like, there's so many things I could be doing. The only way I'm not gonna think about them is in my slumber. So I sleep or I wash because it just anything that just mind numbs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, that's how you cope. This is an open place.
We're all not good at coping, so that's where it's really coming to.
Sleeping and eating, watching TV, watching TV.
Okay, everyone. Due to time restraints, I'm gonna stop you guys and ask that you guys share with the rest of the group what you guys discussed in your dyads. Who wants to start? No, not everyone all at
Okay.
once. Okay.
Well, Mariah and I came up with a couple things. Well, the main thing that we realized that we don't really cope that well with stress at all.
Okay.
At least I know I don't. I came up with that I eat, and then that causes more stress because I'm trying to be healthier, but I just want to eat everything that's not good for me because it tastes so good.
Preach.
Mariah said that she tends to watch TV or sleep just to numb out all the things she has to do, whatever can get her mind off of it,
Okay.
which is also another thing I can relate to that as well. So, I don't know if you wanted to add.
Yeah, I mean that and TV shows, you know, there's just dozens of them. When you do it together. So,
Do you have Netflix?
yes, it's a blessing and a curse.
It sure is. It sure is. Okay. All right. How about this group?
It's pretty similar.
Oh, okay.
We actually realized that we are the same person. And the fact that we get stressed out, overeat, and watch TV shows to kind of just pass the time. Sometimes it passes too much time, and we end up procrastinating and becoming more stressed because we have to, rush and do those last-minute homework assignments, papers, and we're freaking out because we spent 2.5 hours watching, the newest Scandal episode or something like that. Whatever. What have you. So, I mean, that's just one big thing. I don't exercise as much as I should. And that can cause more stress because I know exercising can decrease stress. And by not exercising and eating and watching TV. But then you gain weight, and that causes more stress because you're like, man, I'm gaining more weight, and then like it's just all this stuff is compiled on top of you, and you just, you know.
You jumped into the next point that I want to talk about, but before doing that, I want to ask you both a question. I heard similar ways of coping, right? Overeating, watching TV. Now, did you want to say something, Mariah?
Well, when she was talking, it actually kind of made me realize that's one thing I kind of don't really do anymore, which is like compensating with like food.
Oh, okay.
Like I've actually, I don't know if it helps me be less stressed, but like working out does just kind of get your mind off things, and you're like, you leave and you're like, oh, that was good. Good
Sure.
for you.
I agree.
Like you did something productive with negative energy that you could be doing anything else.
You guys are jumping the gun on me.
Sorry.
Elise, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Elisa did mention that, and I do want to get to that. But first, I want to ask you all, you guys specifically mentioned your ways of coping you don't find to be positive, right? They're more negative ways of coping. Do you guys see your ways of coping the same way?
I'm not
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. And in you discussing the way you guys cope, you mentioned something about how you wish you exercised more because you thought it was a more positive way of coping. And likewise, Mariah, you talked about how in you incorporating it, it's been helpful to you.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Especially like I'm like playing sports, which is like you're like getting out a lot of stress.
Unleashing
Yeah.
that. Sure.
In a really friendly way, but it's nice to be able to kind of like let out some stress with that too.
Okay. Corinne, Maisha, is this something that you guys can agree with?
Mhm.
This is a positive way of coping with stress that you have found, maybe?
Definitely. Like, ever since I've started working out, I don't know why, I guess I just forgot. But, yeah, it actually does relieve stress. Like Mari said, like, you leave and then you just feel, like, a little more relaxed, I guess. I sleep better after I exercise a lot of the times, too.
Good.
And I feel more refreshed the next day.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I just want to kind of insert right here before we continue. You know, great discussion. But I noticed that you all are looking at me as you're answering these questions. This is a support group for each of you, you know. We're hopefully by the end of this going to become one big happy family. So I encourage you guys to look at each other when you're talking and kind of get to know everyone else in the room. But that's great that in working out you've found a more positive way of coping. Aisha, you're kind of quiet over here. Has exercising, have you tried exercising? Has that been helpful to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes, okay.
Yeah. I started out real strong, and then life, stress happened. And then I stopped having. I used to go in the mornings last year, but that was when I didn't have a job, and I didn't have to get up early to go to work, so I'd go in the mornings, and then I'd come back and I'd sleep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so then I started going, like, in the evenings this semester, but then I stopped having time. 'Cause I
Yeah.
had to do homework.
It almost became more of a stress
Yes.
to incorporate
Because,
that.
because then the nights I would go, I'd just be thinking about everything that I should be doing.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So, in thinking about positive ways of coping, it doesn't just have to be Maisha, but just in general. We've talked about exercising. Is there anything else that you guys can think of? Maybe you're not necessarily incorporating it, but that you know is helpful to coping with stress.
I would say having a good relationship with God and having like daily devotions in the morning, which I don't do every morning. That would probably be something good to incorporate for stress.
And then I can also add, because like she said, like I'm one that has kind of fallen off. I don't do it every morning like I should, and I'll during the day. I'm like, I really need that. Cause I'm stressing about making time when like I know that that's something that should be like first and foremost. And I feel like if I did that, everything else would kind of like fall into place. But then instead of doing it, I just stress about how I'm not doing it, and like, so yeah, it's like it could, but then also if you don't do it when you're supposed to, it
It
add
could
to my stress.
become a stress. Okay. Well, I think this has been a great discussion. I think today was pretty successful. We were able to talk about what stresses us out and different ways that we've used to cope with stress, and maybe some more positive ways of coping with stress. Yeah, it's been great. I challenge you guys actually this week in talking about more positive ways of coping, to maybe incorporate one of the ways that we talked about, exercising, or maybe even talking to God. Some of you said that that's something that you wish you did more often. Find a way to incorporate it maybe once or twice this week, and then write about it. Write about how that made you feel, if it really did relieve stress. You know, write something down, and then we'll meet back next week's session, and talk about that. How does that sound for everyone? Is that doable? Okay. Before we leave and start really wrapping up the session, I just want to check everyone's comfortability level. How are you feeling on a scale from 1 to 10? 1, since we're talking about stress, let's incorporate stress into this. 1, feeling the least stress, very relaxed. 10, feeling the most stress right now. How do you feel in this group?
1.
1? That's great. Looks like our job here is done. How about you, Corinne?
Maybe like a 4.
A 4? Okay.
Let's go with a 5.
A 5?
5.
5. Okay. Lower on the spectrum. That's good. Hopefully, as we continue to talk and discuss about ways of dealing with stress and just get to know each other more, those numbers will go down. I don't know how that's going to happen for you, but hopefully the numbers will go down for the rest of you, and you will maintain your low number. Anyway, it was nice meeting you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and your week, and make sure that it's stress-free. I will see you all next week.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.